When we filmed with Noel Gallagher last year, we were blown away by this.
So yeah, welcome to the our version of the Oasis bandwagon. We try not to do it, but we couldn't resist. Noel's sound from those two kind of random amps, they were the only thing he could put his hand on at the time.
Yeah.
It's what he had. He stuck them on top of one another. It was the original sound of the guitar sound of Oasis. It was amazing.
As soon as we walked in that room, it was like, that's it. That is the sound. And even Noel, who that had been in storage for 30 years, was like, oh yeah, it was amazing. So what we thought we would do today is put together some completely random amplifiers and see if we can create something maybe not iconic, but cool.
And you're in for a treat because you're seeing the world premiere, no expense spent, on the Wheel of Challenge for challenges.
The Wheel of Challenge for challenges.
Behold, pointy finger to indicate, counterbalance, spinning action.
That's brilliant.
You spin again, you spin again.
Brilliant.
Shall we just start then, Dan?
Yeah.
On here are some of we've put some of more our shall we start then, Dan?
Yes, indeed.
We've put some of our Shall we start then, Daniel?
Indeed.
We've put some of our more unusual amplifiers on the Wheel of Challenge for challenges.
Indeed.
And we'll let the pointer land where it will. Amplifier number one.
Indeed.
Oh, you spin. Go on,
Go
please.
on.
The Wheel of Challenge for challenges.
Okay.
Sovtek MIG-50.
Sovtek MIG-50.
Amp number one. Amp number two.
The Wheel of Challenge for challenges.
And a plexi.
Oh, no, I don't want
Okay.
that. Let's go with the Shipwreck.
The Shipwreck.
Awesome.
Nice.
Behold. What's going to happen is, we'll explain the amps in a second. What's going to happen is you'll hear each amp individually and then you'll hear them together. We won't spend ages dialing in sounds. We've got 4 pairings to get through and it's really about what we can get quickly. As you can see, we have a simple pedal board.
Very simple.
Booster, delay, a thing to go out to 2 amps, and that is all sat on the Surfy Bear Spring Reverb. We said we'd use it as a pedal board one day. And,
There it is.
And here we are. All right, Dan, it's been a while since we've heard the MIG-50. Let's try both channels and see which one you prefer.
Okay. That's nice.
That one.
First one, thank you very much.
Channel 1.
Great.
So as we know, the MIG-50 is not a master volume amp. If you want overdrive, you've got to turn it up. That's loud enough.
Indeed. That's crunching nicely there.
Just out of interest, though. That's all right. I've
Sounds
just got
great.
to turn the room mics down a bit.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Just a quick interjection. Our stats tell us that less than half of the people that watch our videos are actually subscribed. So please take a second and hit that subscribe button. It really does make a difference. Okay, thanks for watching. Back to the show.
Okay. We've never heard this.
We've never turned it on.
No. Joe from Halo Sailor built it for us. It's called the Shipwreck, and it's inspired by Trainwreck. I've set all the dials at 2 o'clock because that's where all amps should be set. So let's have a listen.
That's fantastic.
There's another go.
Ooh.
What do you want? More or less, more?
I reckon we're good to go. Just turn them on.
Right, go for it.
That's ace.
Sounds completely killer.
And that's a sound I haven't heard before. That's ace.
I'm interested to know what happens when you start turning the controls on the guitar down a little bit. So we'll start with the full out as Dan was. Dumped a load of bass out of both amps. Mentally loud, huge headroom, loads of bottom and top, filling in loads of lovely mids.
And the compression in that is incredible. Oh wow, this is fun. And so, first combination down.
First combination down then.
Let's return to the Wheel of
The
Challenge.
Wheel of Challenge.
For challenges.
The wheel of challenge for challenges. I'll go first this time, Dan.
All right, mate.
Right. You wanted to swing it backwards, didn't you? Did you? Oh, it's Flexi again. Oh no! Oh, it's the Hagerman! It's the Hagerman half watt.
It was like the golf shot. The ball's just teetering on the edge. Yeah, and it falls back over.
That's crazy. Oh, actually, it's also just selected the Victory.
Okay.
Should we go with that, or?
You mean
I'm pretty sure it was there.
it was?
Because it moved.
It did move.
Yeah.
No, it was the Hagerman.
Do you want to spin, Dan?
I'll spin.
Yeah. It's the Victory! Yay! Hagerman and Victory. Okay, finger click.
Here we go.
Right. Victory V4, the copper. This is a valve preamp with a 180 watt Class D power section.
Okay.
All in one box. And that is hitting a 2x12 Marshall cab. This is the Hagerman half watt, which is two little tubes putting out half a watt. I'll do a detail of it so you can see it, but Maybe we should start there.
Let's go
Daniel.
there. Let's start there. Start there.
And for pure comedy value, obviously it's going into a 4x12.
Of course it is.
Right.
That sounds great.
I've given it a load more love in the mic pre so that it will be louder in your ears, but in the room, as you can see by the dB meter, it's not loud. That's half a watt though, and I would just say that that is too loud for most people's houses.
Yeah.
Let's just bring it back a bit from there. So at the moment, the bass is on about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and the treble's on 2 o'clock. Just going to see where it stops going distorted.
Okay. What a great sound.
Always going to distort. This is a 12AY7 in there. I suspect if you put a 12AX7, it would
A bit more.
overdrive even
Yeah,
more.
sure.
Can't wait to play some more with that.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Okay, this is going to be considerably louder. Half a watt, 180 watts. That's its own reverb.
Yep.
Here's no reverb.
Can we dial the presence back a little bit, or the treble,
Yep.
or whatever it is? It's very bright. Yeah.
What, more or less? What do you want?
No, it's. I think because I want to be able to hear that, so I reckon we could turn that down even.
Yeah, I'll turn this on and then see where we get to.
Yep.
How we are we for phase?
So that is now in phase. So
Yeah, cool.
it was out of phase. Now
Yeah.
it's in phase.
It's a great sound. It's a little bit difficult for Dan and I because now the volume is so low, it's quite hard to get anything happening between guitar and speakers, but it's a good quality sound.
It's a really good quality sound. And I reckon that for an all that's just the amp drive,
Yeah,
to be able to get that sort of a sound at that sort of a volume is pretty great.
it's great. And if you can just suspend your views of the massive cabs, they're massive cabs kind of for the comedy value, but they're going to sound good on 112s as well.
Oh,
aren't they?
absolutely.
Challenge with the Strat is going to be getting any sort of a clean headroom.
Yeah, right.
Killer.
That sounds great.
Obviously, I was using the booster to try and get a bit more volume, but yeah, man.
Right, 2 for 2.
What I think is interesting about that is this one is half a watt,
Yeah.
and that is 180 watts. I don't know where they get these wattages from, because that was when you had it before we turned it down. It was, it was at 2-3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was hammering. Now I know that it's going into an 8 ohm cab. If it were going into a 4 ohm cab, it would be a lot louder. But 4 ohm cabs are rare,
Yeah.
and it's certainly loud enough. But
It's not, if that was a 180 watt valve amp into that, it would be tearing the place
our
apart.
50 watt plexi would be considerably louder.
Yeah.
In any case, loud enough to gig,
Yeah,
quite
for
enough
sure.
to have fun with,
Yeah.
and sits. I hope what you're getting in the mix is the mixture of the two amps is really lovely.
Yeah. Because there's a vastly different character to both of them, right?
Yeah.
And where that one is overdriving and that one's hanging on to the notes a bit more,
Yeah.
and the blend of them, what was happening in a different way before with the Shipwreck and the Sovtek or the Electro-Harmonix was the Sovtek was all caving in the mids.
Yeah.
Where the Shipwreck was sort of caving in the mids, but the Electro-Harmonix was bottom and top end sparkle.
Yeah.
And when you have those different characters together, you can't really imagine what it's going to sound like. But so far, it's
To me
awesome.
anyway, it sounded like that's what was happening here. Like this
Yeah.
was the mids, that
Right.
was the bottom and the top a bit more.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, let's invoke the wheel of challenge for challenges again and see where we're going next. We got a bit of hum going on, so I'm gonna kill it. Okay, Dan. Tell you what, for a bit of fairness, let's put it this way up
Okay.
and see what difference this makes to any sort of spinning.
Alrighty.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the lazy.
It's
Oh, you got to drop a name.
Drop a name.
What's the last name drop?
had dinner with Robin Ford on Friday night. Okay.
Excellent. You spin again. We've had the victory.
We've had the victory.
Again.
We've
You spin again.
You spin
I
again.
think it's getting a bit tight at the back here. I'll just have to loosen it off a bit.
Okay.
I didn't do the gears very well. Well, we're not having that.
I'm not having that.
Spin again. Oh, this is rubbish. Try again. Oh, what the hell? What the actual hell? Again, Dan? The supergroup.
The supergroup.
Perfect.
Okay, all right.
Laney supergroup.
Your turn.
And now it's my spin. I'm just going to loosen it off again back here, just because
Okay.
I think there's some bias going on.
I think there is.
terrible
Can you
bias.
believe that we would... Okay.
It's really bad. You see,
That's better.
that was a spin. Oh, it was a
both
supergroup-
two
supergroup
supergroups.
again. Yeah, we can't have supergroup again. Let's see. Oh, I think it's the Philmosound.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Back in the room.
69.
Yep.
1969 Laney supergroup, we think, that belongs to Paul Stacey. No, we know it belongs to Paul Stacey. We think it's from
right,
1969. Might be 68. And our friend Phil has done the Philmosound conversion of the old Bell & Howell projector amp. Actually, it's not really a conversion, it's a complete rebuild. And as you can see, we've got a couple of, well, you might not be able to see, a couple of 6v6 power tubes, I think. What looks like a tube rectifier, and maybe some other stuff. Phil will know. Can't say that we do, really. Amazing thing. I'll do some details.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Shall we start with that?
Yeah. Let's give that a go.
We have used it in one show previously.
It's a magical thing. Just magical.
Ready?
Yep.
Prefer it with the kind of bright off.
No, bright off, please.
As it is there with
Yeah.
more treble dialed in.
Yes, absolutely. Insane.
I think we're making Oasis records here, aren't we?
We are
Keep
indeed.
going. That is raucous. Sorry, did you want another go?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to hold you this while you were on that. That Laney is so beautiful.
That's bonkers, isn't it?
So beautiful.
Such a great amp. It's kind of Paul always describes it as the Marshall you wish you had.
Yeah, okay.
And he says it only really works in one place, which is kind of there, sort of 7 or 8 on the volume. Doesn't get much louder after that. It's nothing like as loud as a 100 watt plexi, for example. I think it's certainly not 100 watts. Maybe it's 50 or 80 or something. And the Philmosound just doing a really nice job together.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, 2 amps better than 1, isn't it?
Every time.
It feels like it. It'd be
Every
interesting
time.
to see what the microphone's here.
Yeah.
One final spin then, Dan. Okay. Spin away, my friend.
You spin again.
You spin again. So little time. Oh, it's the
Quilter. Very cool.
So we have a Quilter transistor amp here, and yeah, we've got some other amps as well. Some other amps here, probably somewhere in here. I'll have a spin, shall I, Dan? Oh.
Yeah!
It's the for almost there. It was the Spider 4 on insane mode, but it's just tipped back into the Joey Landreth signature 2 rock now. So yeah.
Back in the room.
Okay, as promised, the Joey Landreth signature 2 rock amplifier, which we've had sat in the background there for yonks and haven't really used it on the show, and a Quilter Aviator Cub, which we're not going to use because you can only use the internal speaker.
Oh, okay.
And if we plug it in to its internal speaker instead of the cabinet we've been using, everyone's going to say, oh, you're really biased. Instead,
Oh, come on.
I made an executive decision, Dan. People have been crying out for this for years. This is a Wallace AC 5075 XT-FV Mark II, made in the mid-60s.
Yes.
And famously, Dan?
So famously, this was the amp used on Zeppelin 1 for the bass.
Not this actual one.
Not that actual one, but it was a Wallace amplifier that we used. But that was back in the day when you'd just pick up an amplifier. It wasn't a bass amp or guitar, it was just an amp. But they have been used by guitarists with the astonishing thing. This particular amplifier has a built-in fuzz circuit, but we don't have the original foot switch for it. I'm going to latch something up eventually, but we can hear hear it in all its glory.
And it was given to us by a lovely guy named John, who was in the throes of cancer.
He was.
And before he died, he gave the amp to us.
Yes.
Which is, to Dan actually, which is pretty amazing.
It was amazing. Considering I had been looking for one of these for years, they are as rare as hen's teeth.
So bless you, John. May you rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you for this amazing thing.
Okay, after that introduction, we should start there, shouldn't we? We've only really ever used this as a bass amp for recording sessions and when we play in here with the band, because it does a brilliant job of bass. I mean, it must also have a tremolo because it's got a depth and speed.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see what happens. One thing just to say, it is absolutely whisper quiet.
Yeah.
It is on. Okay, here's the part where I have to moan about playing these awesome amps again. We had got to do a bit of a fixie daisy. Dan started to play the Wallace and the Two Rock. Sorry, I'm bending down. I'm not quite sure what the camera can see. Dan started playing the Wallace and the Two Rock using his SG. And by the time we got to the end of the Wallace, given that we're not that familiar with it, I thought something was kind of off. And then he plugged into the Two Rock, and then it definitely was. And it turned out that he's got a dodgy connection in the back of the SG. So we'll pick up again when he goes back to the telly and we turn both amps on together. But in the meantime, I just want you to hear the Wallace, because you won't get to hear that in the original video, with apologies. Hopefully in the main video, we explain that the EQ controls and all the standard things on the front panel of the Wallace are quite different from what you'd expect on a normal amp. What I'll do is I'll just play, and then you'll be able to hear. I'll turn them down low and then up. Oh, stand by on the back. That might explain what the hell's going on with the Wallace. Something just went really screwy and some other controls came in. Okay, so literally no idea what's going on there. Sounded pretty good when we started and then something changed. I think we need to get it looked at. Two Rock, hopefully this will be a bit more predictable. Back to the program. Boy, a country mile the biggest sound today.
After playing a sound like that, I do find it hard to get words out. It does, because
Takes you, doesn't it?
just completely envelops you.
Hopefully there wasn't too much mucking about with the preamp gain and nothing was overdriving too much as in the front end of the mics. They're Neve 1073, so they should be able to take a wide variety of gain.
Mm-hmm.
How interesting.
Fascinating. It's more than the sum of the parts.
That's the thing, isn't it? And if you had more time to sort of tweak and you pick your bass and treble amp and your mid-range amp, which is how so many people like to do it, Joe Bonamassa, Paul Stacey, Phil X, we could reel them off. You have one amp that does the bass and the treble frequencies and the other amp that punches through the mids. Yep. Maybe you were hearing a bit of that today, even without much tweaking.
And I know that we were a little bit generous with how we were choosing the amplifiers, but literally we chose 8 amplifiers that we hardly ever use on the show.
That was it. If we cheated a bit, it was because they were amps we hadn't heard on the show before. So
correct.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll fix the wheel of challenge for challenges for future episodes and maybe trust it a bit more. Or not.
Brilliant. Well, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. That was fascinating. It was so much fun. Yes, have a fantastic week and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.